Episode 3 of the Shooting Par podcast. Dylan's not here again today. He's out, so it's just going to be me. Um, we'll recap PGA Championship at Valhalla as well as the LPGA Mizuho Founders Cup. A couple of small things in the news with Scottie Scheffler and whatnot that we'll touch on, as well as the updates for the Women's National Championship, Men's National Championship, and then we'll look at the upcoming event this weekend. That's the PGA Charles Schwab Challenge. So it'll be a quick podcast again, and then we'll kind of go through point totals and whatnot for the season so far with the two events that Dylan and I have been making picks for. So first off, PGA Championship came down to the wire. Another great event, as you can imagine. I mean, there were probably 6 or 7 guys that were in the running going into Sunday. You had the top 2 guys. I would say there's probably 7 guys total, all within striking distance, probably within 3-4 strokes of each other. So it was great to see Xander Schauffele finally kind of break that stigmatism, get out there and get a win. Obviously, him kind of falling apart a couple of tournaments in the 4th round there. It's good that he was able to pull it out finally get the W that he deserved, especially on a major stage like that. So, I mean, it made it even better. The course played outstanding all weekend. There was a lot of opportunities for the guys to go out there, score a little bit. Made for great viewership, obviously, a lot of birdies, eagles, and whatnot. Bryson chipping in a couple of times. So it was a great event to watch. So the top 5 standings are as follows. So you had Xander Schauffele at -21, Bryson DeChambeau at -20, Victor Hovland -18, Thomas Dietrich -15, Colin Morikawa -15. Xander shoots a 65 on the final day to win. Again, finally breaking that stigmatism that he can't finish and all that stuff. So he finally was able to pull that out. Bryson made a hell of a run at it though with a 64 on the final day, pushing Xander pretty much to the edge. I thought, maybe with a little bit of pressure, Xander might kind of fold again. That's kind of what he was known for a while there. So it's good to see that he didn't and that he was able to have that mental fortitude and finally take a win. Just with how well he's been playing, the first 3 rounds of so many tournaments. It sucks to see someone, go out there on the 4th day and, not be able to hold out the win. So it was great to see that he finally pulled that out. Victor Hovland also played great all tournament long. He had a 68, 66, 66, and another 66 for all the rounds. So he just went out there and was just very consistent all 4 days. So very solid. -18. So, 3 strokes off, but there's not much you can do when Xander Schauffele and Bryson DeChambeau were at -20. Just quick note for Scottie Scheffler, he did shoot a 65 on the final day after his adventurous weekend in Louisville. So we'll touch on that a little bit later, but yeah, he did shoot a 65, which was his best of the tournament. So it was good to see him kind of bounce back after the Saturday that he had where he shot 2 over for the first time in a long time. But yeah, all in all, it was a tournament that was worth watching. And it just shows how exciting these events can be, especially with all the live guys in it. A lot of them played very well. Obviously, Bryson coming in second, almost got a win for live there, which would have been pretty interesting to see again. So I think it just, creates for some great viewership, these majors, especially when they're inviting the live guys over. Because live guys deserve it. So now we're go to the LPGA Mizuho Founders Cup and Liberty National Golf Course, Jersey City, New Jersey. Again, shout out New Jersey. Nelly Korda comes back out, shoots a -14, gets the win after her kind of let down with chasing history and whatnot, with getting 4 or 6 wins in a row. She bounces back. It's her 6th win of the season, so now she's 6 of 7 for the season, which is still a ridiculous run that she's on. So it was great to see her come back at minus 14, get that. Hannah Green comes in at second, minus 13, and then we had 4 people tied for third. Shantati Wanasi, Aria Nagan, Jennifer Kupchko, and of course Gabriella Ruffles. Again, I'll kind of touch on why I said of course there, but first, Nelly bounces back, which is, I kind of foresaw that coming. I had a little feeling that she was going to want to bounce back and want to get a win here, so I think she did everything that she needed to do. Obviously, Hannah Green made a major jump up the board with a 63 in round 3, which was impressive in its own right, but just wasn't enough. When trying to catch Nelly there. Nelly played well pretty much most of the tournament. And again, coming down the stretch, she made sure that she got what she needed to make sure that she was going to walk away with the win again. Back to Gabby Ruffles, place tied for third for second straight tournament. Last tournament, I think she was the only one in third, but in third place again nonetheless. For again a second straight tournament with a 68 70, 68 72. As a rookie, just coming out there and performing each and every week, she's been amazing. But to be honest with you, we haven't seen her put a whole tournament together yet. And I think that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. Obviously, I talked a lot about her last week, how great she was coming back from missing the cut and then placing third in the next tournament. So now, we kind of see that, again, she has the talent. She's going to be in the LPGA for a long, long time. And I think we're realizing that she's kind of just scratching the surface of her talent. So it's going to be a problem for the rest of the players on the LPGA once she hits her peak. Because once she can put an entire tournament together, so all 4 rounds, it's going to be hard to beat her. She is a hell of a player and has been playing great, especially for a rookie. But she'll be a danger to the rest of the field once she hits her peak, which is going to be coming sooner than later, I think. Just by her last couple of performances, I think she'll be a good one to watch during the U.S. Women's Open, I believe next weekend. So she'll be a great one to watch. Obviously, Nelly too. But I think Gabby really has a chance to make a name for herself at that tournament. She's played in it. This will be her 5th time, first time I think as a pro, if I'm not mistaken. So it'll be a good chance for her to go out and hopefully get that win that she deserves. Because again, she's been playing out of her mind as a rookie and really deserves to have that win under her belt her rookie year. Moving on, so we got some golf news in the past week. First, I will kind of go into something a little bit more serious before we talk about Scottie Scheffler. But so Dustin Johnson taking a lot of criticism for his comments on live guys taking the risk and how the PGA guys shouldn't be compensated for their loyalty to PGA. So his quote on the episode of Full Swing was, "No, I don't. The guys that went to live, we took a lot of criticism. We're the ones that took the risk for everything. So why should they be compensated? Obviously, if this merger comes along, there's gonna be a lot of guys who wish they would have signed." I get why he's getting criticized. I mean, I'm kind of on the fence here of whether or not the guys should be compensated for being loyal to the PGA. I think as a fan, I don't see why they should be compensated. As a guy, if I worked for the PGA and seeing what the PGA did, I would say they probably should compensate him. And as a player, yeah, they should be compensated. But again, as a fan, I just don't see it. Johnson's kind of correct in what he's saying. I mean, the live guys took all the criticism. yes, they went for the money, but they're the ones that took the criticism. They're the ones that risked their futures really with playing in majors and all the history that they had. Like they risked it all, and yeah, they risked it all for the money, which obviously doesn't look great. But I just don't see why the Live guy or the PGA guy should be compensated at that point. I mean, there's two ways to go about that. You go for the money, or you go for the records and the history. And you know, the Live guys pick the money, the PGA guys pick the history and the records and whatnot. So I don't see a point as to why they should be compensated on the back end for making the decision that they did. But he's taking a lot of criticism for that right now. It's going to be interesting to see kind of how he is received at future PGA events. Obviously, this came out, about a day ago. Might have even came out this morning. Can't remember when I was reading it this morning, but I can't imagine that the PGA guys are going to be very happy welcoming him back. But I mean, he's still a great player. I think he would probably still have some friends on PGA. I'm not sure, but I think it's definitely going to be an awkward locker room experience when he's walking back in there. So it'll be interesting. Again, this Live merger with PGA, it's hard to find kind of the information that's correct and that's actually has something worth noting. So once they do have something, and I do find something that's worth noting, I'll definitely let you guys know. But as of now, they're still just trying to work out the details, trying to work out the money and everything, which I think is going to be the main thing here, which everyone knows it's always about the money. But for the next thing, obviously, Scottie Scheffler was arrested at the PGA on Friday before his round, which he did shoot a 66 in that round. I don't even know how to go about this because it was the craziest thing seeing him get arrested for something like that. Obviously, I mean, not going to say he shouldn't have been arrested because, just because he's famous. Like, it's a little bit crazy, but I think there should have been a little bit of common sense used by the police there. So him getting arrested was obviously the highlight of the weekend slash low light of the weekend, however you want to look at it. But everyone was talking about it because, just came off winning the Masters, and apparently these police had no idea who he was when they arrested him. Came out, he did shoot a 66 in that round. He was able to get back to the course in time for his round that day. Shoots a 66, which is great, keeps him in the running. But you could see that it started to hinder on him Saturday. He shoots, over par? I think he was 2 over for the first time in 42 rounds. I mean, that's crazy, for one. But he does bounce back Sunday with the best score of the week, or his best score of the week, with a 65. Clearly, he would have been in the running. He ends up 13 under par for the tournament, and he had a 2 over on Saturday. I think if he doesn't get arrested and he's not, mentally, physically exhausted from that crazy day that he had Friday, probably shoots a little bit better on Saturday. Plus, he was missing his normal caddy. His caddy went home for his daughter's graduation, so he was missing his normal caddy Saturday. But again, I think the only way that you can slow this guy down right now is to basically get him arrested before he plays, which is crazy to think about because, again, he doesn't get arrested. He was right there in the running going into Saturday. Like, he had a bad round Saturday. Can't really blame the guy. Just got arrested the day before. Just had a kid, a week, 2 weeks ago. Like, the guy's mentally exhausted. He's physically exhausted. So, you can't really blame him. It would have been nice to see him kind of at the top making a run at it because he is the best golfer in the world right now by far. And it's going to be fun to see next week when he goes ahead and he's playing in the next tournament back home in Texas. So I think you're going to see him kind of be a little bit angry about how the weekend went this past weekend. I think he's going to make a major run at this tournament. Also, definitely go for the win. Again, it's in Texas, so where he's from, I think it'll be fun to see how he goes out after having a bad Saturday and obviously getting arrested, which again, I don't know how that affected him mentally. I'm just assuming that it probably really messed with him going into Saturday. So, next thing, let's touch on the women's national championship. So it is happening right now. They played 3 rounds, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Today's Monday. So the fourth round's happening today with 15 teams left competing to advance to the Tuesday and Wednesday match play format. Sorry. So only 8 teams will advance to the match play format on Tuesday and Wednesday. So here are the 15 teams that are left. So you got Texas A&M, Stanford, LSU, Clemson, Northwestern, UCLA, Oregon, Auburn, Arkansas, Southern California, sorry, Duke, Wake Forest, Mississippi State, Texas, Florida State. The individual national championship is pretty much all but wrapped up. I haven't checked the standings as of today, but Adela Kuznek, sorry if I mispronounced that, of Texas A&M has been just a model of consistency for the first 3 rounds, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, with 3 straight 68s. She's from France. She's on the verge of setting multiple national championship records. She's was only 1 stroke shy of the 3 round record, with 13 under set in 2016. She was 12 under for the first 3 rounds. And then the fourth round record is 16 under, and the largest margin of victory is 8 strokes, which she leads by 6 strokes going into today. I mean, she has a great chance at breaking a couple of those records and pretty much putting on one of the best national championship performances we've seen in a long, long time. Not to mention, she's also put Texas A&M in a great position to go ahead and win the national championship as a team. So it'd be the first time in Texas A&M history that they would have the national champion individual and the team national champion. So it's going to be fun to watch. Watch how that plays out these next couple of days. Obviously, again, the individual is happening today. I think by the time this podcast comes out, it'll probably be Wednesday. So we'll be in the second day of match play for the teams. So definitely check it out if you get the chance. So next, the men's regionals are done, and their national championship at Omni starts Friday, goes through next Wednesday. Same format as the women's from this week. So here are the teams that qualified from each region. Again, I'll just kind of read off the regional top five advance, and then I'll give you guys the individuals that also advanced, who were not on the team or not on any of these teams. So for the Baton Rouge regional, you had Auburn, Virginia, Texas Tech, Ohio State, LSU. For the Chapel Hill regional, Clemson, East Tennessee State, UNC, Georgia Tech, and Baylor. For West Lafayette regional, Vandy, Purdue, Florida, Arizona, and New Mexico. For the Austin regional, you had Texas, Tennessee, Notre Dame, Utah, and Wake Forest. For the Rancho Santa Fe regional, you had Oklahoma, Cal, Oklahoma State, West Virginia, North Florida. And then for the Stanford regional, you had Illinois, Florida State, Texas A&M, SMU, and Stanford. And then the individuals advancing are Ethan Evans out of Duke, Nick Matthews out of NC State, Cameron Huss out of Wisconsin, Andy out of San Diego, Ben Warren out of Minnesota, and Kelvin Hernandez out of UNCG. It's going to be fun to see. I mean, personally, I'm rooting at this point for probably Texas A&M in the men and women, just because I think it'd be cool have one school win both. I don't know. I mean, they barely kind of scratched in there out of the Stanford regional, so don't know how great they'll do going to the national championship, but I think it would be cool to see kind of same team win both in both women and men's. So that'll be going on starting Friday through next Wednesday. So we'll have an update for you next podcast on who's advancing to the last 15 as well as the individual national championship. So um, that's it for kind of the news. Upcoming events, we only have one. So the PGA Schwab Challenge, Colonial Country Club, Fort Worth, Texas. So it'll be interesting. I mean, obviously, you're coming off of the PGA Championship. You'll probably have a few guys sitting out. But obviously, a big weekend for the PGA last weekend. So it's going to slow down here a little bit. Still be a great tournament to watch. Definitely want to check it out. For last week's picks, I had Taylor Gooch for the PGA and Gabby Ruffles for the LPGA. I did not get very many points, put it that way. I ended up with 5 for Gabby and 1 for Taylor because he made the cut at least. Thankfully, Gabby was able to get me those 5 points. So right now I'm sitting at 20 points for the season. Dylan had Rory and Nelly. So he ended up with, I believe, 1 point also for Rory and then 10 obviously for Nelly. So he's at 21 points for the season. And then our random selection of the week had Max Homa, Charlie Hull. Both of them only made the cut. So they only got 1 point for each of those. So they're still at 4 points. Definitely got to find some better people to pick for these randoms. So we'll see how they do. So this week, again, with only the one event, my pick will be Jordan Spieth going into it. Texas kid, hasn't played well, but I think this would be an opportunity for him going back home to Texas, kind of get on the right track here. He definitely needs it. He's a great player. I don't think there's a reason that he's should have fallen off this badly for so long. So I think he'll definitely have a little bounce back here. And then Dylan picked Scottie Scheffler as well as the random person picked Scottie Scheffler. Obviously, dude's the world number one and for a reason. So there's no other reason as to why they had to pick him. The guy probably go out there and perform again. He's also going back home to Texas, so there's an opportunity there for both of them. Kind of have the little homecoming. Again, I just kind of wanted to pick Jordan Spieth. Again, I think he's a great player. He just he's not having a great year, which it is what it is. But I think this is an opportunity for him to kind of bounce back, get some momentum going towards the next few events after this. So hopefully the low homecoming will help him out. But that is all that I have for you guys today. Make sure click the like button, follow, subscribe, and check us out next week.